Yes, in the very next episode, Simba and his friends, while on the run from Shere Khan, hide in a cave, which just so happens to connect to a tunnel that leads into a hidden prehistoric valley where dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and other extinct animals still exist. What is this, the Valley of Gwanji?
What are those? Those are Triceratops, Baloo.
Wait, what?
Those are Triceratops, Baloo.
Look, I don't know what kind of amateurish, outdated dinosaur book you've been reading, Augustine, but those are clearly not Triceratops. This is a Triceratops. These things, I have no idea what the hell they are. For one, they have a single horn in the middle of their foreheads instead of 3 horns like Triceratops should have. Hence their name meaning 3-horned face. Not to mention Triceratops was a plant eater, while these monstrosities have sharp teeth and attack and kill other dinosaurs like a pack of wildcats.
Maybe this is supposed to be in canon to the Dingle cartoon where the plant-eating dinosaurs became meat-eaters for no reason.
Hell, the Triceratops from Prince of the Dinosaurs look more accurate than these ugly abominations, and that was also a Mondo TV cartoon. Look, I'm sorry I'm making such a big deal out of this, but when any piece of media misrepresents my all-time favorite dinosaur, I just have to speak out.
Surprisingly, the journey through the Dinosaur Valley lasts only 2 episodes, and during the second one, we have this dinosaur show up, later named Flash, acting like a lost child. They think of leaving him since this is its home, but they end up taking him along after he demonstrates the totally realistic ability of emitting lightning from its body, and against a dinosaur that looks to be a fire breather. As ridiculous as that was, at least it can't possibly get any more.
The dinosaurs! Everything's being destroyed!
Awkward. Okay then, that's one way to end it.
Overall, the Dinosaur Valley episodes were a major disappointment for me personally because, well, honestly, the idea of Simba fighting off dinosaurs actually sounds pretty cool. Let me rephrase that. The idea of Disney's Simba fighting off dinosaurs sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if maybe in an episode of The Lion Guard or if someone wrote a Lion King fanfic where Simba and the rest of the gang encountered dinosaurs somehow? Like, maybe Simba and the rest of the lions facing off against a pack of raptors or Kovu and Kiara outrunning a friggin' T-Rex?
Well, I think in order for that to happen, a massive earthquake would have to occur, revealing a passageway to a hidden prehistoric landscape once blocked from the outside world, allowing dinosaurs to slowly roam into the Pride Lands, and the only way to send them back is to herd each and every single last one of them.
Ooh, better yet, what if there were a crossover with Jurassic Park? Yeah, like maybe they wind up in a secret sanctuary somewhere in Africa run by InGen or Biosyn and they have to find a way to escape.
Oh, yeah. We should really continue before we get out of hand any further.
Still, anybody out there who's watching this review right now, Disney, random fanfic writers, I don't care who, make this happen!
So in preparation for the eventual showdown with Shere Khan and his minions, we get one episode where Simba earns the trust of an army of panthers, who all happen to use the same model as Bagheera from the Jungle Book anime, which they could have used on the Bagheera in the show, but we've talked enough about that already. And then one episode where Thin and Excel find themselves going back in time to ancient Egypt, where they meet a rat pharaoh and his wife, who give them magic medallions. On one hand, it seems rather cheap that they would just receive a magic upgrade, but on the other hand, I never would have expected any side character to receive one after what Simba and Buckshot have been getting.
We find out in the next episode that Thin's medallion is able to see into the future and XL's can grant any wish he desires. In this case, cheese and wine. Yeah, they say it's grape juice in the dub, but come on, look at the way he behaves after he drinks it. He is so obviously drunk.
Finn tries to warn Simba about Shere Khan's army due to him seeing their friends learn of his plans, but he just shrugs it off. It's only after they do show up that he believes Finn and Excel that they have magic medallions, and sends his army to confront Shere Khan's. It goes about the same way as the earlier fights, with awkward use of animation, and even repeated animation.
Whoa, what the hell? Did those vultures just catch fire? Oh my god, they did! Those vultures just spontaneously caught fire and burned to death. Rather graphically, I might add.
Compared to everything else that involved characters dying or getting maimed, this is probably the darkest they've been since they don't actually sugarcoat what is an actual on-screen death. Even if it doesn't make sense, that's still a major accomplishment.
The next episode, the leader of Shere Khan's rhinoceros army named Ronko challenges Simba to a duel on Shere Khan's behalf, to which Flash fights in Simba's place and basically beats Ronko to a pulp. After the fight, Simba offers Ronko to join his army, to which he humbly accepts.
This does eventually lead to one episode where we learn that Shere Khan has kidnapped Ronko's son, Noah, and wants him to betray Simba or else. You know, ever since Simba grew up, Shere Khan has been improving as a villain. He's actually doing things that would be considered a threat. I won't say it's perfect, I mean it took this long after all, but this sort of thing is the closest that Shere Khan gets to being anything like his anime counterpart.
But of course, Simba and the others find a way to get Noah back from Shere Khan and reunite him with Ronko. Then, during the next few episodes, we see that Simba has now grown into full adulthood and...
Well, it took them about 38 episodes before they actually decided to go with a rip-off Lion King design. Seriously, he is almost a dead ringer for the Simba from the Lion King now. The way his mane and facial expressions look, it's like they took him straight out of that movie, only dialed down on the colors to make him look browner. He still sounds like he did before, but man, I was kinda hoping they wouldn't resort to this.
Back with Shere Khan, he's recruited a new regiment for his army, a militaristic wild boar with an eye patch named General Pakashir, along with his squad of wild boar commandos, in order to build traps to capture Simba and his army, which they learned to do from observing human researchers at Mount Kilimanjaro who have been trapping and tagging animals for scientific research, except for the boars, which they kept for food.
You'd think they'd tag the boars too, but then again, we don't know what goes on in their minds. Oh, I don't think we've even seen what they look like past their legs.
Actually, they did show some humans in an earlier episode, but we only get to see the face of one of them.
Oh, well, let me see. Ugh, keep it away. So disgusting. And it's here where Simba finally spots the lioness from his future vision from across the river. And just like in the vision, they instantly fall for each other without any sort of build-up at all. I mean, I know they're animals and all, but since they displayed some level of sentience, you'd think they do some character development for these two.
It's bad enough when the very next episode keeps teasing us with the promise of them finally meeting face to face and hooking up, only for it not to come to fruition. First, Simba crosses the river to go meet her on the other side, only to turn back around when he senses his friends in danger, confusing the lioness and causing her to shed tears. Then later on, she crosses the river to try to get to Simba, only to have him tell her to go away, causing her to cry again, thinking he doesn't care for her, not knowing he was actually trying to warn her of the sinkhole trap Shere Khan's wild boar commandos had dug for him and his friends.
I'll be honest, it's hard to take even this romance seriously when they hardly showed any kind of chemistry, and the most of their interactions were wondering about even meeting face to face and a misunderstanding. I see no reason for her to love Simba when, like with him, she only just met him. Besides, the next episode ultimately clears up the misunderstanding. First, we have Canary telling the lioness about why Simba kept pushing her away, with awkward editing to boot, which gets her to try and meet Simba again. However, even after yet another misunderstanding that shouldn't be the case, because she knows that Simba has to face whatever Shere Khan throws at him, and toward the end, she gets saved by Simba. Twice for that matter. Once from killer bees, and again from falling. And it's then they officially become a couple. So all it took for these two to meet and become a couple were 2 episodes in which the romance felt rushed. And we still don't have a name. Just who the hell is she, and why did she ever fall in love with him in the first place?
Well, we do learn in the next episode that her name is Farna. Does that help?
Would have been nice to know sooner. Like when they met.
Hey, at least it's something to go by. Also in the next episode, Simba and his followers finally reach the savanna lands of Mount Kilimanjaro, and for once, he gets the drop on Shere Khan as the two engage in an epically short battle where Shere Khan once again gets the stuffing beat out of him and swearing to Simba that he hasn't seen the last of him and runs away to lick his unseen wounds.
That's Simba the King Lion for you. It can be pretty violent when it wants to be, but still be about as clean as a 4Kids dub. So then, after recruiting fleas to try and stop Simba, only for that to fail as well, Shere Khan decides to enlist the aid of Simba's bitter uncle, Kingo, who rules over Kilimanjaro after claiming the throne when Simba's father was killed. Wait, doesn't that sound an awful lot like... No, it couldn't be. They wouldn't really rip him off, would they?
I'm sure you're aware that your nephew Simba is close by, and that he intends to claim his father's throne.
What for? Everyone knows that the throne belongs to me.
Oh my god, they would.
Yup, Simba's uncle is Rip-Off Scar.
Makes sense. They ripped off all the good Lion King characters, so why not rip off the main villain too? Seems out of left field that they would suddenly introduce the evil uncle of Simba, when at no point was this ever mentioned. But the sad thing too is that this is the only episode where the character even appears. No joke! Even after they established his existence, show a short flashback where he considered dropping Simba off a cliff despite his father showing up, despite all that, they treat him as a one-off character. He came and went. That's the way it goes.
And the other sad thing is, he's actually a better villain than Shere Khan.
Wait, what? Why is he the better villain?
Well, mainly because he's a rip-off of Scar. Well, minus the actual scar over his eye, of course. He's Simba's uncle, meaning the threat is more personal when it comes from his own family. He's been wanting the throne all his life so he could have done away with him at any time, and you can tell just from these lines of dialogue he has.
The plains of Kilimanjaro and the lakes beyond are mine. Your place is not here. Get out.
I am Simba, the true king of kings, and I take orders from no one.
You have your father's arrogance.
I also have his courage and his strength.
I knew I should have dropped you when I had the chance so long ago.
Plus, Kingo is the one to challenge Simba to a duel, to settle the fact that he should be the ruler of this land for good and not have it be taken away from him. And unlike Shere Khan, he actually sounds like an intimidating threat.
Are you really up to the challenge, or are you going to hide behind your royal heirs like your father? Are you a coward like he was? I've defended my throne against many a would-be king, you know. Even your father's wisdom couldn't save him. Power is what truly lasts.
Not even the real Scar was bold enough to challenge Simba like that on his own.
Fair enough. And I suppose, unlike Scar, Kingo doesn't even try to cheat. He actually fights, like a lion. It's just too bad that, again, this is the only time he ever shows up, so the feeling is still a bit sour that they could have had something for the last stretch, but wasted as a one-off episode.
And also unlike Scar, he willingly admits defeat when Simba wins the fight, rather than try to take the advantage when his back is turned. Makes me wonder if they might actually treat Scar this way in the upcoming live-action Lion King remake. But I suppose that's just wishful thinking.
And now we finally reached the terrible duel, in which Shere Khan decides to try and attack Simba and friends yet again. But Simba decides the only way to truly defeat Shere Khan is to face him alone.
But not before we get this little piece of character growth for Toy.
What are you talking about? Everyone calls you Toy. I'm changing my name to Winner. I'm grown up and I want to be treated that way.
Yep, Toy has decided to change his name to Winner because of an argument with Canary. That's some development he has going.
And this isn't just a one-episode thing where he'll change his name back to Toy later. Winner is indeed the character's new official name, and it is one he will continue to use for every future Mondo TV project. Not only that, but he would also go on to become the official mascot for the company.
Huh. I'm guessing he's based off an old pet Orlando had? I mean, why else would he go with this character? Anyway, Winner suggests that Simba uses his cloak of invisibility. I mean, that's pretty much what it is at this point. To cloak Simba's army, which has extended in range apparently, to separate Shere Khan from his army. From there, Simba can corner him with aid from Arbor, and during the entire fight, we see Shere Khan for the coward he is.
Dear Lord, the Disney Shere Khan would be face-palming if he saw how much of a wuss this imposter was. Are you sure it's not too late to bring Kingo back?
Nerve asking for mercy. But if you want peace in your kingdom, you must not seek revenge.
I would like to believe that, but as long as you're around, peace will be impossible. You're responsible for taking away my mother and father, Shere Khan. Do you really think I can forgive that? You showed no mercy for either of them, or for their children. You don't deserve any.
But you're an adult now. It's ancient history.
But I'm still an orphan, aren't I? And I promised myself you would pay for that someday.
Damn, Simba, that's cold. I mean, he just straight up refused Shere Khan's pleas of mercy and is actually willing to kill him. Yeah, he's responsible for the death of Simba's parents, but even the Disney Simba granted Scar mercy when he had him cornered and at least gave him a chance to walk away. Oh wait, I almost forgot who I was talking about, since this is the same bloodthirsty lion who kept swearing revenge against the tiger back when he was a cub. It's like the show is trying to teach kids that revenge is good and that you must never show mercy no matter who it is. If that's the case, then what the hell kind of backwards-ass message is that for a kid's show?
I just can't imagine how this will end. Jesus! That is the most brutal strangulation I've seen yet in this show. Seriously, he just straight up bites his neck on camera and Shere Khan just falls over dead. Not even Don Bluth would be this dark.
And it doesn't end there. Afterwards, Simba gets up on a ledge, uses his powers to turn Shere Khan's corpse to stone, then buries him under piles of rocks after blasting a nearby mountain!
Jeez, overkill much?
And even then, it's still not over. Just watch.
Good has overcome evil. No longer will Simba and his friends have to worry about Shere Khan trying to steal the throne.
Oh my freaking god, they actually did it! They have a knockoff version of Pride Rock! The circle is now complete. This ripoff of The Lion King has reached total absurdity.
The only thing missing is if we played this over it. There. Now the circle is complete.
So the next episode shows the return of Simba's sisters, Bobby and Kimba. I wish I was watching Kimba right about now, who had a late start apparently, only took a few years, and are only now trying to reach Kilimanjaro. Wish we knew what happened to the wolf siblings, but oh well.
Wait, so does that mean Bobby and Kimba also traveled through the Dinosaur Valley after it was destroyed?
Maybe they took a different route, which is why it took them this long to get here.
Knowing this show, I wouldn't question that logic, even if it is incomprehensible.
But that will have to wait until after Simba gets coronated, as Simba and gang head to where the throne cavern is. And in a scene that was spoiled during the opening credits, we have two magic leopards with beards who show them the way to Simba's mountain throne.
Wait a minute! If Simba's family had a throne room in Mount Kilimanjaro all this time, then why didn't Simba's father take him and his sisters back there after Shere Khan killed their mother instead of fleeing all the way to India or whatever? Could have saved them all this trouble if you ask me.
Because the writers didn't think well enough. Much like everything else in this series.
So Simba and his followers follow the leopards to the entrance of the throne cavern, which appears to look like the entrance to a castle, complete with steps, pillars, and a stone lion statue on each side. Seriously, this doesn't look like it was made by any animal, not unless they had magic, which, knowing this series, wouldn't exactly be a stretch.
The inside is just as unconvincing, as it is made entirely out of crystals, with intricate hallways, lights, mirrors, and wall carvings. I guess they could be made out of tanzanite, which is a real type of mineral found near Mount Kilimanjaro, so maybe I could give the animators a little credit for that. However, that doesn't explain the throne itself, as that's made out of gold. Like, who made this? I mean, look at how it's designed. Sure, if it was formed out of crystals and just so happened to look like a throne, I could buy that. But this thing looks like it was designed and poured into an intricate mold. Hell, it even has a pillow on it. What's next? You gonna give him a crown too?
May wisdom guide you always.
I was only kidding! A crown? They seriously gave Simba, a non-humanoid lion that walks around on all fours, a crown? Why? His father never wore a crown, so why would Simba ever wear one? In fact, why would any animal want something that looks like it was made for humans? Especially when they ranted about humans being evil so much.
Dude, this is a series with talking animals, some of which wear clothes and have magic powers, talking trees, mammal-faced insects, dinosaurs, and it's the crown and throne you're complaining about?
But it isn't consistent. I just want consistency in my silly animal show.
So Simba is now officially crowned King of Kings, as we see the spirits of all his past ancestors, including his father, congratulating him as visions within reflective crystal walls. I'm sorry, I just have to do this.
Remember who you are. You are my son.
Simba also gets General Pakashir and his army of wild boar commandos to join him, as well as Kurdy, now that he doesn't have Shere Khan or the monkeys to deal with anymore. And of course, Simba's sisters reunite with him after doing nothing for most of the series.
The next episode, The Gladness, is really just the wedding between Simba and Farna, as she also receives her own crown as she is made Simba's queen. So, if Simba is the King of Kings, wouldn't that make her Queen of Queens or something?
Awkward kissing moment? Seriously, it looks like they're Frenching.
Also, Arbor's come to congratulate the new couple as he opens up his tree Gina again.
I got a mangina!
Which now has a TV screen in it, for some reason, as it shows all of Simba's friends back in the jungle, including Augustine and even Mother Wolf, who appears to have aged quite a bit as she now sports a pair of big old gray eyebrows.
Now, while this episode mainly focuses on the wedding, there is a scene toward the end where Simba tearfully says goodbye to Baloo, Kaa, and Bagheera, who have to go back to their home in the jungle, as well as even Buckshot, who says he must go back to his home in the Emerald Forest in order to reclaim his own throne. And indeed, that is the focus for the next few episodes, with Buckshot's quest to become the king of the Emerald Forest. But look at this. During his time as an adult, he had the same fawn face as his child form, but later on in the same episode, he just abruptly changes in design.
Yeah, now he looks like the great prince of the forest from Bambi. I guess it's true what Jor-El said in Superman the movie.
The son becomes the father, the father the son.
He finally returns home where at first everyone is happy to see him, except for one. Meet Buckshot's cousin, Hans, who I'm just going to say is probably meant to be a ripoff of Rano. You know, that one bully deer that Bambi fought because he tried to take Faline for himself. We never knew about him until now, and he's acting pretty much like Kingo, as he claims to have control over the kingdom and wants Buckshot to leave because...
You seem to forget that you haven't been here in years, cousin. That you left this forest like a coward.
Didn't his mother force him to flee after Shere Khan and Kurdy killed the two of them? In fact, this flashback contradicts the original from long ago, as here, Shere Khan knocks him off a cliff, and Buckshot just happens to be nearby to witness it. Wasn't part of his character arc that he didn't know who killed his parents? Why the hell would you suddenly change his entire backstory just to shoehorn in another Lion King knockoff subplot?
He told me he was very sorry, and that I had to go stay with Mama Wolf to be safe.
What the hell is this? And again, this was not part of the original backstory, as it was Buckshot's mother who told him to run away, not this bearded bastard. How do you forget your own damn story?
Isaac!
Yeah. Getting worked up over the lack of continuity again. I'll stop. To make a long story short, Buckshot agrees to fight Hans, which leads to Simba and friends cheering him on from their magic pond in the middle of the Crystal Throne Cavern that shows them the fight. And after Buckshot wins, he shows off his star power by blasting stuff, which scares away the wild dogs and makes a tree combust.
To top that off, Arbor reappears and tells Buckshot to go into his...
I got a mangina!
Yeah, that. Which apparently has some kind of gateway inside, which leads to a magical field where he meets a doe named Bambina, who becomes his love interest. Hey, if falling in love with some random female you just met can work for Simba, I guess it can work for just about anybody, right?
The closest to a backstory for her is she's the princess of this valley, and the fairies told her she'd be wedded to a king. That's all. But hey, at least she has a backstory. Unlike Farna. Oh, and they get crowns too. Because why the hell not?
Speaking of which, she actually does kind of look like a deer version of Farna, doesn't she? I mean, they both have the same color palette, the same shaped mouth, and basically the same reason anyone would fall in love with them. Because they were told to.
I only just met you, but I love you. Let's get married.
Jeez, even Disney learned to develop their romance plots during their Renaissance. This was made basically at the same time, yet feels so outdated. Hell, if they're going to copy Disney, they should at least copy how they develop their romances too.
The next episode is more or less another party episode that just has some minor character development for Flash. Though at this point there's not much left you can do, so it's more or less filler. The episode after that does continue the Thin and Excel subplot where they find the treasure they've been seeking, which was in a cavern underneath the Throne Cavern. Oh, and Simba has children now.
Yup, Simba is now a father, as Farna has given birth to twin cubs between episodes, with a son named Simba Jr., real original there, and a daughter named Luce. Wow, kind of thought there'd be a lot more fanfare. I mean, this is a monumental moment in Simba's life, becoming a father, and it's barely even glanced over. Not even an episode announcing or even showing that Farna was going to give birth. What a jip!
At least Disney Simba made the birth of Kiara at the end of the first Lion King symbolic, given how she was born. And when Leo had cubs, we got to see how happy he was about being a father and shared it with the world. But here, there's nothing. Instead, it's just, winter teaches them how to walk. That's it. No real introduction. They're just here now. You might as well have rebooted the series and just have it be Simba and one of his sisters again.
Funny you should mention rebooting the series, because in the very next episode, when Simba and his friends look into their magical pool, guess who comes back?
Oh, god damn it. Why won't you stay dead? You were skinned and stoned to death. Stop reviving yourself already and go away.
Actually, Isaac, that's not Shere Khan.
What?
This is his cousin, Burdan, who looks exactly like Shere Khan for some reason. And this actually isn't the first time he's been seen on screen. Remember the flashback episode where it's shown how Simba's mother was killed and we saw 2 tigers?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Plus, he did make a brief appearance at the end of the last party episode, but we kind of skipped over that.
But we're almost done with this series. What could they possibly be trying to do, throwing in one last villain, who we only briefly seen twice? What, are they gonna pull another Kingo and have him be defeated in one episode as well?
Ding 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 ding! What do we have for him, Kate?
Well, Huey, our lucky winner today, gets to go home with none other than a big old can of Diddly Squat. Yes, Diddly Squat. One size fits all, tons of uses. Oh hey, I finally got to appear on screen for once. Thanks, boss.
Don't thank me, Kate. Thank Benny for having some spare time on his hands.
Yo!
These pecs are kind of disappointing, but I'm really digging this keister. Goes real nice with the tail. Hey, does this mean I get to appear on screen more often?
Only if Huey agrees to pay me for each review.
Well...
Ah, damn it.
So the ones who confront Burdan and his army are Simba's friends, who are still remaining in their old jungle. Which, okay, that's unexpected that they have to fend for themselves without Simba. But, oh good lord, this animation! Was he having a flashback or something? What the hell was that?
Oh god, it's the return of the combusting vultures! Seriously, why the hell would you be sick enough to show this kind of frightening imagery again? Are you sadist or something?
But oh look, in the next episode, Buckshot has a child now! Oh, look at the cute fawn! And they even remembered to actually make it a big deal! Even if it is just another knockoff Lion King moment, with them on another ledge showing off the newborn prince. The only other thing of note is Buckshot's kingdom being attacked by wolves, but that's really the gist of it.
The second to last episode of the series, titled The Prophecy, introduces us to Simba's Aunt Shannon, a very old and withered lioness who, like Kingo, Old Buck, or Hans, was never mentioned before, and for some reason walks on her hind legs while using a walking stick? Okay. Oh look, and apparently she's a witch too, as she lives in a secluded stone house with the inside covered in spider webs, along with a bulbing cauldron which she uses to make potions with to help other animals' afflictions. So that would kind of make her rip off Rafiki, I guess?
She helps awaken the children's own star powers, with Junior's being like Simba's, while Luce gains the same kind of power that she has, which appears to be foresight.
Majesty, your son will follow the same path that you did, and he will return to the jungle to fight Burdan, who is as power-hungry as Shere Khan was.
Oh god, are they really just gonna recycle the plot of the series all over again?
Yep, sounds to me like this series has a serious case of sequelitis, and it isn't even finished yet.
No!
Anyway, now that Shannon has fulfilled her role, as short as it was, she tells Simba and his family that she must go as she poofs into a puff of smoke and disappears, possibly indicating that she died? So, was she a Jedi too?
Well, either way, she's gone, and all those animals that were relying on her for medicine and the like will now lose their family members to illnesses because there's no one there to make medicine for them. But at any rate, Finn and Excel end up in trouble. Again. and get teleported back to Simba's old home, which leads into the final episode where Simba and friends have to find them, while also having a subplot where Junior thinks Berdan is around and he tries to zap him, while in reality, it's just his imagination.
Kinda like when Simba and Buckshot ate that drugged grass and hallucinated about defeating Shere Khan.
Oh my god, Huey, you're right! They're already starting to recycle plots from previous episodes! The sequelitis epidemic has begun! Hide all of your original content before it's too late! But before we wrap anything up, here's a lovely image for you in this final episode. Savage.
Jesus Christ! What is this show's obsession with setting animals on fire? Does Orlando Karate have some issues he needs to work out or something? Because that's pretty messed up.
So after dealing with Junior and his little star power abuse, Luce uses her power to find Thin and Excel, relay a message to them with Arbor's help, and thus learn about how they can teleport with the medallions to see all of their friends with ease. Which I guess just leads into a happy ending because they have an easier time getting together? What kind of resolution is that?
And so that was Simba the King Lion. Well, Isaac, after having watched all 52 episodes of this rather unique series, what did you think of it?
Well, Huey, if I am to be completely honest, I'm fascinated by how weird this was.
I know, right? Still, it was kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, I guess it was, wasn't it? Damn, I never thought I'd say anything nice about something made by the same guy who made Tentacolino. I mean, both tend to have similar elements in regards to writing and what is presented, but here they try to play it straight by having serious plot elements once the characters started growing up more. In a way, it felt like it was trying to mimic Kimba in having a lighthearted tone, while occasionally having some mature storylines with morals that could be conveyed to children. However, it never seems consistent, and it isn't helped by them going overboard with being cutesy 1 minute and then being, oh god, they died, intense. It's even weirder given the animation quality, which wouldn't be so bad if the editing had improved.
Not surprising, since this show, like a lot of other Mondo TV projects, was animated by a Korean animation studio.
Really? Well, I guess it makes sense, since a lot of people like to outsource their animation to South Korea.
No, dude. The other Korea. The one that hates us.
Ooh, righty then.
Specifically, Studio Sec, based out of Pyongyang, North Korea, who, like I said before, have provided the animation for nearly all of Mondo TV's original programming, but are also known for producing Squirrel and Hedgehog, the infamous political propaganda cartoon in which other countries such as South Korea, Japan, and the United States are vilified. But I guess they have no problem with Italy, right? I mean, if they're willing to provide animation for them.
Yeah, that would explain a lot of the odd storylines they have, which feel like they weren't thought up ahead of time, and thus we get characters who show up 1 minute, but disappear almost instantly. Power-ups that are just given to characters without much build-up to them, and many retcons to backstories that were established early on but dropped without explanation. Yet in a bizarre way, I kinda like how this is the one series I've seen from these guys where they were willing to let characters actually die or go beyond what normal children's shows would allow, even if it felt contradictory or hateful at times. It makes me want to see some of their ideas done better, but even then, it was pretty fun poking fun at what I've seen. It's more than what I can say for Tentacolino, because at least this one isn't based on real life. It's just ripping off other stories.
Honestly, this is a series I would happily watch again, but probably not binge watch like I had to do to prepare for this review. You know, just watch a few episodes here and there from time to time, no particular order. And like Isaac said, it did have some good ideas that I felt could have been done a lot better, especially the Dinosaur Valley story arc, which had a lot of great potential but just felt squandered. But I fangasmed enough about that during the review. But I think the biggest problem Isaac and I can both agree on is this series doesn't really feel like it knows what it wants to be.
I know, right? It doesn't know if it wants to take place after the Jungle Book anime, since they use characters from it, but lack any continuity given the use of its villain. Or if they wanted to be more like The Lion King, given characters like Kingo or even Simba himself.
It honestly does feel like an amateur fan fiction written by a child after having watched The Lion King, Jungle Book, and a bunch of other anime movies he liked, and trying to pass it off as either a sequel or as his own original story, even though it's pretty obvious it's just a weird, nonsensical combination of already existing material. Kinda like Sonichu in a sense.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah. Otherwise, it's not very well put together, but at the very least, it's entertaining enough that you could riff it like it's Mystery Science Theater. It's not really all that offensive, but your reactions will likely differ from ours. Seek it out at your own risk.
I will give it this. At least it's better than the 2 sequel series that came afterwards.
Well, maybe I'll look at them someday. I mean, if they're anything like this, at least I'll be able to have some fun with them. Right? Oh God.
Hey, he said it, not me. Anyway, thanks for having me on your show again, Isaac. We really need to do this more often.
No problem. But next time, let's not find something that could potentially drive us up the wall. Find us something nice and wholesome we could watch.
No promises.
Well, until then, I'm the Media Hunter.
And I'm Huey Toonmore.
Media's my prey and reviewing them my way.
See you at the movies. Anime movies, that is.